June 9th, and I hope that you all had a wonderful weekend and that your week is off to a great start. We like to get started a little bit, early here at artbeads.com, start our Mondays off right. I'm Deb Floros. This is my show, Designing with Deb, and today we're going to be doing something really, really fun. So I hope that you've got a cup of coffee or an iced tea or whatever it is you like to drink at the time of day where you are. And, we're going to just spend a little time today hanging out, making some jewelry, and talking about the things that we love, beads. Eric, yes, I've got some coffee, although I must say it's down to like the last few sips. So, we'll see how I make it through today's episode. Good morning, everybody. So, let's see. What can I tell you? It is Monday, June 9th. Last week, you did not see me live. I apologize for not being with you, but I was on a little bit of an overseas adventure. I was in Bulgaria visiting the folks from Gollum and Damiana Studio, and that was super fun. You've probably seen their beads here at artbeads.com. So I wasn't here, but you may have seen a replay of one of my favorite shows, which was working with some of our friendship bracelet kits here at artbeads.com. I made this really beautiful micro macrame project, and it's one of my absolute favorites. So if you watched that one, you may have seen something that you saw before, or maybe you didn't see it before. So today we're live and I am back, and I think the jet lag is just about done. I'm hoping today it is. Hello everybody. Let's see who's here. Let's see. Gina Marie, thank you so much. Lisa in PA says, happy Monday to all of us. Happy Monday to you too. Hannah's here from Iceland. Hi, Hannah. Joan from Phoenix is here. Hello, Joan. Shirley is here. PJ is here. Carolyn says it's heading for 95 degrees in Oregon. I thought we were hot here. That doesn't seem logical, Carolyn, but I hope that you stay cool today. Santa Barbara girl is here. Good morning. Let's see who else is here. Paulette is here. Hello, Paulette. Thank you all for being here. So if you're watching live or you're watching the replay on June 9th, you may be like in the last throes of a huge sale. So where are all my Czech Glass friends out there? Who loves Czech Glass? I'm sure most everybody here does. There is a 20% off Czech Glass sale going on through the end of today. It's just through the end of today. And oh my gosh, I always check out the sale for you. And there's fire polish on sale. There's round drucks on sale. 2-hole beads, finial beads, teacups. There's tons of great deals. If you go to artbeads.com, there's a banner at the top of the website that talks about the sale. If you click on that, you can find everything you need to know about the sale, which is only through the end of today. And there's tons of ways that you can sort and click on the different types of Czech Glass that's for sale. So you might guess we're working with Czech Glass today. Maybe, sort of. And we are going to be doing some fun things. One of my go-to designs is a choker design. And I call this kind of an open front choker. And this is all Czech Glass. So I'll talk about that in just a minute. Let me say hello to a few more people. Santa Barbara girl says 99 for today. I think that we're going to be a little bit warmer than that here in Arizona. Santa Barbara girl loves Czech Glass. Of course you do. Ruby Tatum says, good morning, Laura Q. Oh, thank you, Laura Q. And Shirley says, good morning to Ruby. Okay, guys, so I'm going to flip my camera down, but just before I do that, a reminder. If you're watching live, this is the best place to watch. artbeads.com facebook.com/live. That's the best place because you can chit chat with the community here. We all love each other so much and love to spend time together. So if you come on over, I can see your comments and so can everybody else. So let's have some chit chat this morning. You can also share the love by clicking on the little heart icon on the screen at any time and as many times as you'd like throughout the course of the show. And you can shop the show. So there's a little shopping bag looking icon on your screen, or you may see a whole screen of all kinds of goodies. That's everything that's in the show. So if at any point throughout the course of the show you have a question about a product, you can click on that and it'll show you everything. And you don't have to leave the show to do that. So click on that. It will show you all of the products, but there will also be shoppable links that pop up throughout the course of the show. And Eric's here in the comments to help out today. Whew, I think that covers it. I can cover it again as we go through the show today. I'm going to flip my camera and let's see what's on my table. Okay. So this is a fun and funky little escargot tray. It is vintage and I loaded it up with the things that I used for this choker design. So this is a really fun memory wire open front choker. Now with memory wire, necklace memory wire, you can make a choker and you can do all kinds of fun things with it. You can literally create a design like this and have the opening in the back. That's kind of the traditional way that memory wire is used for necklaces, but I don't like the norm and I like to create an open front piece. And what I did was I used some beautiful table cut Czech Glass dragonfly beads. I believe these are Raven's Journey, and they are used as little decorative pendants in the front on either side of that open piece of memory wire. So this is super fun. And what I did was I went and found all kinds of fun, like turquoise tones in various shades of Czech Glass. So here's our, oops, sorry, that's loud. Here's our dragonfly beads. These are nice and big and beautiful. These also work great for bracelet focals. And I've got some Raven's Journey rondelles, and these are a beautiful shade of blue. These are some of my most favorite beads. And then I've got some fire polish Picasso, which are really gorgeous. And all of this is in the show. So anything that's got like a blue or green tinge to it is all in this first design that I showed you that I was wearing. So I've got these little tiny like Hishi style beads, a couple of different fire polish. There were a couple that I used that were sold out, so I didn't put them here on the tray, but I did use a couple of additional beads. So here are some really fun sort of clear blue beads, and they go nicely all together. So I find when you're combining beads and colors that are similar, the more that you add, the more that they go together. And I don't know how to explain that, but I see sometimes people try so hard to match things up, but sometimes when you take multiples, you can get a really great result and you can see how they all come together. So in this case, look at all the beautiful blues and greens together, and with a continuity bead, a nickel Toho size 11, I'm using that throughout this particular design. So this is super fun, really cool. I love this kind of a necklace. I wear these all the time, and I think if you gave this a try, you might really enjoy it. And there's so many different things that you can do. Hannah says this is such a great idea. I am don't do chokers, but I have this kind of memory wire. So you gave me the perfect idea. So yes, this is great. I put in a few different memory wire, necklace memory wire packs in the show, a gold and a silver. Try this out. Grab a gold, grab a silver, get them home, and then you've got so many options. If you want to make this one, all of the pieces and parts are in the show. If you click on that shopping bag, you can see all of the pieces and parts. You can load them into your shopping cart and you can get those home to you to make this exact choker. Joan, thanks. I love them too. And Cindy says, I have a question, but not about beads, but is it a tool? What magnifiers do you use, if any? Cindy, I don't use a magnifier, but I know that there are some that you can put on your face, like some tools that have like magnifying glasses that you can put over your glasses or over your eyes, and it will help. And then there are also lamps that have like a magnifier in the center of them. So maybe some folks have some suggestions for you that are here in the comments. I don't use them, but there are plenty of those kinds of options. So this is our first example today. I'm going to move this tray out of the way. And then I'm going to show you another design. Let me put my my choker back on because I love this one. So here's another tray with some really fun purples and pinks, and I've got some white seed beads. Here is the choker. And I'll put this on towards the end of the show so you can see this one. But this is all kinds of beautiful like floral checks. So in that sale, 20% off through the end of today, you can find beads like this one and also this rose looking bead. So all of the purple and pink tones are in the show today, and they will help you to make this design. And you'll see I actually use some larger fire polish towards the front of the necklace, and then I added some to head pins, and I strung on those head pins onto the choker. So now you've got some little dangly things towards the end. And here's a little fun surprise as well. This is kind of hard to show in this angle, but I attached a piece of chain to one end and a piece of chain with a lobster claw to the other. And this adds a fun little element of silver or, a little something that hangs down in the front of the piece. And this you can also add beads to. So you can actually wire wrap directly onto your chain and add some beads. So maybe you want to bring in some of these. Maybe you want to bring in some smaller fire polish from the design. These have kind of a pinkish hue to them. And then there's these amazing rose beads. Oh, they're so beautiful. So you could dangle one or more of them on the chain, and this will sit at the front of your neck. Super fun, interesting, different. And if you make something like this, people around you probably aren't going to have this. So they're going to be interested and curious about it. And I've also got some seed beads that create that continuity. These are a nice kind of white lined glass, and they are Mayukis, and they're 11 O's. So those all go throughout the entire choker. So I'll put this so that you can see this, but this is just a fun combination of purples and pinks and silver and white. Really, really beautiful. Great for another choker design. So if you want to make this one, all of the pieces and parts are in the show. So just click on that shopping bag and you can load everything into your cart, and you can do that even on replay. So if you're watching this on replay, you can drop everything in. And keep in mind that Czech Glass is 20% off today. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. We're going to make one. So I'm going to use the Beadsmith gold-plated memory wire, necklace memory wire. This is in a gold color, and you get 12 loops. And it is a 3.6-inch diameter. But as you may know, memory wire will, will pull and kind of accommodate pretty much any size, and it will hold its shape. So I'm going to take that out, set that aside. And then I thought we would do something a little bit wild and crazy. We're going to use a really cool artisan bead, and this one is absolutely spectacular. So this is a white flower patch black agate rectangle bead, and it's got amazing, beautiful design. This is pretty big. So look at my wrist, it's big. This is a pendant size, and we're going to hang this from one end of our open choker necklace. And this is picking up all the glare, but look at the beautiful flowers. So I grabbed some Druck beads that are round, and these are, let's see, olivine green. They're 8mm, and they match very nicely back to the green in this piece. So we've got that one. And then I also picked a small fire polish. This is a 4mm. So we're getting some dimension and some sparkle. This one is lime green. So these two greens together, really beautiful with this. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, sunshine. And Lisa and PA says that bead is spectacular. I agree with you. Hi, Anna Marie. So this is our combination so far. And then I thought, what if we bring some flowers into the mix? So these are incredible. These are Czech Glass beads, flowers. They are 10 by 10 milky white. So look at, you've got these beautiful flowers in here. We're going to add a few of these and create a little bit more interest. So that's our combination. Then one last thing. I always like to add seed beads. And what I've got today are some demi rounds. I've used demi rounds quite a bit on this show. I've got a size 8 and a size 11. These are both Toho. The black is an opaque jet, and it is an 8. And here is a perma-finish silver-lined frosted crystal demi-round in 11-0. So these are going to tie back to the black and to those flowers as well. So I'm going to show you how I add those and create that continuity. So let's get started, because this is going to take a little bit of stringing, and I'm going to move everything off to the side. I'm going to grab my bead mat because this is already making a lot of noise. So let's get everything in front of us here. Let's get all of the demi rounds. Let's grab these flowers. Oh, and look what I just did. Spilled. Shocker. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm going to cut open these strands and get these. These are so pretty. Look at these beautiful green beads. So simple round beads, but they are such a beautiful, lovely color. And that smooth green is going to be, it's going to be really nice against this little bit of a lighter green with some facets. The fire polish are always beautiful faceted beads. So look at those against these, really beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna start with cutting a piece of our necklace memory wire. Now, something you need to know, if you're not a memory wire user, please pinky swear with me that you will only use memory wire cutters. These are the only way that you can protect your good cutters. So if you're using if you're using a Zuron cutter or a Beadalon cutter or some other kind of cutter, if you cut memory wire with them, you're going to get nicks and all kinds of problems with them. So use these guys. This is the tool you need, and this will help you protect your good cutters. Now, what I like to do with necklace memory wire is I like to cut so that I've got a little bit of an overlap. So what I mean by that is these are rounds, and we need the necklace to go around your neck, but we want it to be open in the front. So I'm going to overlap a little bit, and I'm going to cut over here. And so I'm going to grab my cutter, and I'm going to cut off that piece, and it's just got a little bit of an overlap like that. So this is what's going to go around your neck. It doesn't look like it's going to fit around your neck, but trust me, it will. And when we add our pieces to the ends, it will really hold your piece in place. So I'm going to set this aside. You've got tons more to work with and create more fun things. Now, the other thing I like to use for my memory wire designs are these Beadalon finishing pliers. These cater to being used for memory wire, but they are out of stock. So you can use your Chroma round nose. You can use any round nose pliers. So these are in the show today, super fun. You can use a regular, these are Euro Tool round nose. I love these, and they are perfect for any kind of rounding. And if you want to get your ends curved in a way or coiled at a way at the end to be the same, you can use these Euro Tool bail making pliers that have the notches on them, so you can place your wire in the right spot to get them exactly the same on each side. Hi, Kim Caldwell. And Beater just got the text, so she's here. We're just getting started with our project, you guys. So if you're just joining, you haven't missed anything. So what I'm going to do first, and this is with any pliers that you have, is I'm going to create a loop at one end. So I'm going to grab the very, very tip of my memory wire in my pliers, and I'm going to create a little coil. And I'm just going to really tightly create that nice little loop on one end. Now, this is also going to reduce the size of your piece a little bit. And remember, we're going for an open choker. So we want to have an opening here. Okay. Let's see. Daisy says round nose with size notations. I just been using a black Sharpie. Yeah, well, that will work too if you don't have these, but you could pick these up. They are in the show today, and they have really a wide variety of sizes. So you might like that instead of the Sharpie, but the Sharpie will work too. Okay, so I'm going to start stringing, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use demi rounds in a trio. So I'm going to start with demi rounds, and if you can see that, I've got the clears on either side of the black, and I'm going to push those all the way down to my loop like that. Then I'm going to put on one of my small fire polish green, and then I'm just going to create that same pattern of the demi rounds in between each bead. And I want to do that because I'm creating some continuity. So I just want to have kind of that continuous look all the way around the piece. And I'm going to just have a really nice little color combination or color variation in between my beads like that. And so now I'm going to put on my next, I'm going to go to small green next. And you can do this in any pattern that you would like. I kind of like an abstract pattern for something like this, but I also like it to be precise too. So I'm going to add a flower, and these are just so incredibly lovely. So look, that's what's going to be visible in the front of your piece. And then I'm going to keep going with my demi rounds. And I'm kind of using, so when I put together a piece like this, I always try to also think about one bead that might have more of that, that will kind of be used the most in my piece. So those little fire polish beads are what I have the most of. So I'm going to put more of those, and they're going to act like a frame around each of my drucks and each of my flowers. So I'm just creating this fun pattern like so. Hi, Denise. So now it's time for a druck. And I love the colors, and that little touch of black is going to look so great when we bring this in. So we are going to create, this is kind of a bit of a wild and crazy design, but I think you guys can expect something like that from me on occasion anyways. I'm just big on let's make something fun. Let's make something different. Let's make something that no one else is going to have. And let's be adventurous. So Tori, hello from Reno. Hi. You're not terribly far away from me. You know, that would be a bit of a haul to drive, but by plane, you're not too far away. All right, let's see. Here's another flower. All right, look at how this is shaping up. Super pretty. Now, there's all kinds of possibilities, guys. So if you wanted to, you could start to add some beads to head pins, and you could string those head pins directly on. So do a wire wrap loop. Maybe we'll do a couple of those at our other end of the piece. So when we get to this side, maybe I'll add a few of those and we can see how that looks. So you can do that all the way around your piece. Have some drops that go all the way around. That's an option for you. You can even add in additional beads. So if you've got some different greens or whites or even a black bead, maybe you've got like an onyx bead or a black fire polish, that would work as well. So I'm just getting on. I know this is a lot of stringing on, but I'm going to speed it up here a little bit if I can and see if we can get this one going. And now if you were to use a silver, so I kind of like to be a little bit matchy when it comes to this design because my memory wire is visible at the ends. I do like to have it be matchy. So if you decide to grab some silver, you can then create a completely different look with silver. Now I chose gold because of the accents in the focal bead we're going to use. So we've got this guy that we're going to be using. I know this seems wild and crazy, but trust me, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting, and it's going to be a statement piece that you can enjoy and create for yourself or create for someone else. Just something different. So here's how we're looking. We've got probably just about half strung on. So let's get the rest on. And let's see if I'm missing any comments. That is pretty so far. Thank you, Kim Caldwell. Trust the process. Yes. So that's that's something that I like to think of when I'm creating. I'm just going to go with what feels right, what looks right to me. And you know what? If it looks right to you, then it must be right. So if you are making something and you're not sure if anybody else is going to like it, don't worry about that, because if you like it, that is all that matters. So there we go, getting around the bend here. Now, just a little bit of a reminder, if you are watching live or you're watching the replay, there is a 20% off Czech Glass sale today, and you can see that some of the items in the show, because we're using Czech Glass, are on sale today. So you can click on that little shopping bag icon and you can go and check out everything that's in the show today, including the tools, including the findings, and then you can pick up additional Czech Glass on sale today. So don't miss out on that opportunity to get your favorite Czech Glass beads home to you. Open up that package and squeal with joy with all the beautiful Czech Glass. So there we go. We're getting here. Now I'm going to start being mindful of when I get to about here that we're going to try and do some little dangles. So, I'm just going to add a few more beads here, and then we'll create those dangles and get that, get that little accent going. And I made a piece, I think it was last year, that was kind of oranges and pinks Czech Glass. And I did some fun, different things with that. So I think there's a show, I don't know, maybe back in the October or November range that I did that. And a similar project, but we hadn't done this for a while. So I thought it might be fun to bring out another choker style necklace. I like these especially in the summer. So you're often not wearing a turtleneck because you've been wearing them all winter and now we're getting hot. So you want a little something fun to show off your sundress or your t-shirt, your little fun t-shirts, colorful t-shirts you might be wearing for the summer. So this is a nice accent to that. So let me put on one and then one more set of our demi rounds. And if you have not worked with demi rounds before, they are like a half seed bead. So they're like a little, like more of a heishi shape. You can really see the black one here. It's kind of a more squat seed bead. All right, so I'm going to push these to the side. Let's create a couple dangles. So we're going to use them on this side of our piece. Let's see. Julie P., what are you saying? The heat is here. It is. Oh, my Lord. I'm sweating right now. I probably should turn the fan on in here. So I've got some ball end head pins. I'm always a fan of ball end head pins. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these green drucks. So these are really lovely beads and they're going to just kind of dangle down. And I'm going to use my, my regular round nose pliers here. And I'm just going to create a wire wrap loop. And so I'm just creating that loop and then just gonna scoot that wire around, get a few wraps, nothing fancy, just a few wraps. And then I can now use my good cutters again because I'm just cutting regular wire. So I'm gonna string this one on. Just gonna pop that on to the design. So you'll see that little piece is gonna dangle down like that. And then I'm going to add another set of seed beads. So my little trio of seed beads, and I've got some on my mat here. And then I think I'm going to bring in another flower. So I'm going to kind of break my pattern. And this is going to be at one side of the front of my piece. So I'm going to grab another head pin. And these head pins should be in the show today. These are 2-inch, 24 gauge head pins with a ball end. They add just that nice little accent at the end. And Daisy says, demi rounds are fabulous spacer beads. I agree. I am in love with them. So I love seed beads as a spacer, but the demi rounds just, make your design a little bit different. So you can still use your seed beads, but you can also bring some demi rounds into the mix. So I've got some of those in the show today. If you want to get some of those home to you and try them out. And I'm missing my little chain nose here. All right, so I need another pattern of the seed beads or the demi rounds. And you can use seed beads too for this. Obviously, you can choose whatever you would like, but seed beads also make a nice continuity here for this kind of a design. And this one I'm loving how the little pop of black is looking here. Super fun. All right, so now putting on another flower. So I'm going to do a third flower. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it. So we're just going to have 2 little dangles. And then I'm going to add one little trio of our demi rounds. And then I usually like to leave about this much wire. And I think what I want to do is I'm going to add one more bead. I'm going to add our little fire polish. So just to kind of end off with a smaller bead, then one more pattern of our demi rounds. And like that. So this is what we've got left. And what I want to do, I'm just going to come back with my memory wire cutters. Remember, you got a pinky pact with me that you're only going to use these for your memory wire. And I'm just going to cut off a tiny bit. I don't have enough to add another bead, and I want to have some nice coils here. So I'm going to come back with my finishing pliers, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to create my wraps or my loops. So a little coil here, and I want to get down to where my last bead is. So just like that, okay? And I've got an extra coil, I think. No, that's the same coil. So I've got matching coils. The finishing pliers will do that, but remember we've got our other bail making pliers in the show here to help us out. So here we've got our one side has a couple of dangles and some flowers up front. And then this side, a little bit, just all of our pattern that we made up to this point, okay? Now, I'm gonna grab a couple of triangle trays and get all of this out of my way because we've put all of our beads on. And I don't want to send these all flying. And I think I've got a couple here on my mat. Okay. So we're going to introduce this. Now, trust me, this is just going to be fun and interesting. Hi, Karen. Thanks for joining from Wisconsin. So we're going to use this as a focal. And what this is going to look like is this. So this is going to hang down, and you can decide which angle you want. I think I'm going to have this going the way that the pendant is supposed to go. And for this particular pendant, we need a longer head pin because the 2-inch is really not enough. This is a large pendant. So you want a longer head pin. And I have a longer one handy. And it's not a ball end head pin. So it's a flat end head pin like that. And what I need to make sure that my head pin isn't going to go through this. So this is a very small end on my head pin, and I don't trust that it's not going to go through. So I'm going to use a couple of daisy spacers. There are some daisy spacers in the show today. So if you want to make this one, you can get all of these beads, this pendant, head pin, and then you can get your daisy spacers, and then you can get all of this home and make your piece. So that guy is going on, and now you've got a little fun little accent at the bottom of your pendant. And then just to get this like a nice finishing touch, I'm going to add one up top. So like that. Then what we're going to do, I need my round nose pliers again. I've got like 52 tools on my table right now. So I'm going to create a wire wrap loop again, but I'm going to directly add this to my loop at the end of my memory wire necklace. So we've got this loop. Thank you, Santa Barbara girl. Thank you, Julie. So we're going to add directly to that loop. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to push that through onto my loop. Okay. So I'm sitting right there. I've got that directly onto my loop on my memory wire. I always like my chain nose. Now these are out of stock, guys, but you can use any chain nose pliers here. And then I'm just going to come in, and I may need another pair of chain nose. I think these are in the so I'm going to pull that, and I'm going to grab that guy and get that to wrap around. I want to make sure that this is nice and secure up here and has a nice look, because this is going to be right at the front of your necklace. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. I love you back. I love you, love ya. Okay, so then I'm going to come in here. I'm going to cut off that. Now look at this. Wow. So this is super cool. Now I'm not going to stop there, because I'm just not going to stop there. I think we need another little something right here. And I think I'm going to use a flower. Let's see how that looks. A pretty little flower. Oh yeah. Okay. Definitely need a flower there. And I can use this small, add a green too. Okay. So I think what I'll do is I'll add a flower. So flower here. And then I'm going to put I'm going to use one of my demi rounds here. Maybe one of the black ones, or maybe just the trio of them like I've been using. So add a little bit of the continuity. And I see comments coming in, but I can't see them just yet, guys. So that can go on our other side. So that's kind of fun. So then let's wrap this one directly on to this side. Okay, so let's come around, create our loop, open that up like that. And then we're going to come over here and add that directly to our memory wire. Now, if you're more comfortable, because this is kind of a little hinky here. If you're more, oh, did I just crack a seed bead? I sure did. I cracked a seed bead here. So I grabbed onto the wrong. So I'm going to wrap. You can use you can use a jump ring. So if you're more comfortable with adding a jump ring instead of wrapping directly on and then potentially cracking your seed bead. Yeah, so look at that. That's so fun. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to put this on. So Anna Marie says, loving it. Sharon and Easy, can we see this on you? Yes. I'm going to put that on. Susanna says, I love your designs, Deb. You do traditional things with contemporary feature. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. That's kind of like what I like to do. I like to mix things up a little bit. All right, so this is our piece. Look at the beautiful greens, the black, all of those little black demi rounds are bringing this back. The green ties into these beautiful leaves. This pendant, it's in the show. It is absolutely spectacular. This one, it's a little spendy, but it is worth it because you will have something that really no one else around you is going to have. And these flowers, bring back the flowers here. So this is fun. I'm going to put this on, and I'm also going to put this one on and show you what this light looks like on as well. So I'm going to flip up the camera. I'm sweating in here. It is so warm. I didn't turn my fan on. So hi everybody. So, okay, here's this one that I showed in the beginning. This is the dragonflies, all of the beautiful kind of turquoisey colors, green and blue, super fun, super pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm crazy about this one, and it matches my shirt today. Before we look at the one that I just made, let's look at the purple one. And you can drop all of the pieces and parts from the shopping bag into your cart and get all of these. So look at how this one looks. Ooh! So you can see the little dangles here. And then that drop of chain, kind of fun, kind of funky. And again, you can, what did I do with my purple beads? You can take some of those beads and add them to head pins, and that will drape down, look really fun. All right, so and I attached it with a lobster. But you can tell the lobster is not really visible. It's over here. Not really visible. Just kind of blends in with all that silver. Super fun. I love this one. I'm like really crazy about purple right now. I don't know why. It's having a moment for me. And again, this is all of the beautiful colors, purples. There's a little pinkish bead in there. And we've got this beautiful Rolo chain. Super sparkly, super bright. Okay, you ready for the one we made? I'm excited about this one. All right, let's see if I can get this to do its thing. Come on now. Might have to adjust a little. Now this one, okay, this one was a little short. So I got a little overzealous with cutting, but it actually makes this somewhat interesting as well. Let me fix this. This guy is not hanging right. Let's see if I can get it to hang. So it should now hang like that. So let's put this on again. So yeah, a little short. I led you astray. I got a little overzealous with the cutters, but look at that. So now I've got this as a focal, and then over here, a little something, something. But ideally this one would cross over. So you probably needed, let me find my memory wire. So when we cut that, you will want maybe like a little bit more. So let me do this. I'll show you what I mean. So you get a visual. So that's not right. So let's see. So I'm going to give it a cut over here. So you would maybe want like this. Maybe want a crisscross like that. So that is maybe 2.5 inches in either direction. and that will allow you the coil at the end of each piece and allow this to be a little bit closer. But I still love this because this is such a beautiful work of art. So now this is a very avant-garde, fun, interesting way to display a piece like this. So when you do get a really interesting pendant, you want to show it off. You want to say, look at this beautiful thing that I've got here. And it's going to be a really great way to showcase it. So, I'm going to take this one off. I'm going to put the one that matches on. And anybody have questions about these memory wire pendants? Has anybody made not pendant, memory wire necklace, choker? Has anybody made one of these or something similar? Tell me in the comments if you have made them. And what did you use? Did you use Czech Glass? Did you use spacers? Did you use little dangles or a pendant on the either side? Tell me what you've made. Hi, Michelle. I guess I didn't see you before. I'm sorry. Hi, Michelle. So this is just a fun way. Now, one last idea. You can do a crisscross. So you can actually make this even longer. So you would have even more on either side of your coil, maybe more like a coil and a half. And you can have your piece crisscross in the front and have these kinds of things hanging down, making something really interesting, something different, something unique. So give it a try, you guys. This is a fun project. It's a time of year that you can show off some fun things because you're not in a turtleneck and you're maybe going on a vacation. You want to put something fun on for your vacation, or just for an afternoon out with your family or friends. So I hope you'll give this a try. Now, I'm gonna shut this show down, but you need to check out of your cart. Don't miss these items. Some of them are in limited supply. You know how these shows go. Sometimes the items sell out, or there was such a small number to begin with that you may miss it. So if you wait on your cart, you may miss out. So for those of you who are watching live, I appreciate that you were here. If you're watching the replay, thank you for watching. You can still shop the show. So just click on that shopping bag and you can see everything that's there, and still drop those things in your cart. And remember, through the end of today, June 9th, is a 20% off of Czech Glass sale here at artbeads.com. So take advantage of that, you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for letting me show you sort of a fun and interesting design. I hope you'll give it a try. And if you are part of the Serious Art Beaters Facebook group, show me what you've made. If you've made one of these, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see your take on the design. And I'll share mine there as well. I'll put some video out there so you can see it maybe a little bit closer up. I'll be back next Monday. Don't miss the rest of the ladies this week. We've got all kinds of fun projects for you and things planned. And again, I'll see you next week. Have a wonderful week. Get out there and make something. I'll see you very soon, guys. Bye.